This is Robert Kraft, and I'm your host on SNN Network. And joining me right now is Keith Henderson. He is the president and CEO of Velocity Minerals Ltd, publicly traded company. I got two symbols for you: VLC on the TSX Venture and VLCJF on the OTCQB. And Velocity Minerals will be participating at the upcoming Precious Metals Summit Beaver Creek, a hybrid event this year happening September 8th through the 11th. With that, Keith, thank you so much for joining me again. How you doing?
I'm great. Thanks, Robert. Good to see you again.
Good to see you too. So last time we did an interview together was last year. Right around this time, we published that interview on September 10th, 2020. So,
right,
yep. So would love to get an update. You know, what would you say are some of the company's highlights in the last 12 months or so?
I think one of the most interesting things that happened with us this year was, or over the last 12 months, was probably the investment that we took from Dundee Precious Metals. That happened shortly after Beaver Creek. If you remember, we had published a pre-feasibility study on Rosno around August last year, and getting through Beaver Creek, we started to speak to DPM about an investment, and they ended up putting $6.7 million into the company in November last year. Just for context, Dundee Precious Metals obviously operating in Bulgaria, which is where we're focused on our gold exploration as well. Dundee have two operating mines, underground Chelopech, and then more relevantly, I guess, is the open pit Ada Tepe mine, which is located just about 20 kilometers away from Rosno. So Ada Tepe is a high-grade open pit deposit. It's got approximately 5 years of mine life left. So, Dundee are hoping that they'll be able to add some ounces there and some years of mine life as well, because they really have a fabulous processing facility there. And if they can add ounces and mine life to that, they'll be able to keep that going for a little longer. So that's interesting. We've got a little bit closer with Dundee over this year since they invested. Certainly developed a stronger working relationship. The investment agreement that we have has provisions in it for some collaboration on technical studies relating to Rosno, and that's kind of brought us closer together as well. So neighbors and now they're investors in the company as well.
Very good. So Keith, what would you say, from what you could tell us, what would you say are some of the company's value catalysts then for the rest of 2021, now going into 2022?
Really, there's two answers to that question. There's the things that we're doing anyway, which is exploration in Bulgaria, and then there's other developments that might happen in the background if there's any future changes in the relationship between Dundee and Velocity, for example. In terms of what we are doing right now, we've been exploring at Rosno throughout most of this year. We've drilled about 23,000 meters this year. That's about 45,000 meters in total for Rosno, and it's been through pre-feasibility, and now we're kind of advancing it further. We've had some good results there as well. But we're working with a hub and spoke model in Bulgaria. So the premise there is that we have satellite deposits that are all feeding potential resources in together into a central plant, which is run by our partner in Bulgaria. So we're stepping out and starting to look at some of those satellites as well. The big focus for us right now is the Iglika project. That's something that we exercised 100% ownership interest in this year, which was a big milestone for us. And as we get through into that, we've done lots and lots of exploration, multidisciplinary, geochemistry, geophysics. We've established about 20 drill targets that we want to test, and we're just going through the permitting process right now. And once we're permitted, we'll start drilling right away. And we have an initial budget of around 6,000 meters for that program. Also this year, we exercised 70% interest in a bitchnik, and we published a resource on that as well. So we now have two resources in the area. We've got Rosno, which has got a reserve at about 465,000 ounces, and we've got a bitchnik, which is 135,000 ounces at 1.5 grams as an initial resource. So those two resources are really the only resources that have been defined in this region. And aside from Ada Tepe itself, they're the only resources sitting in the surrounding area surrounding Ada Tepe.
Very good. Well then, Keith, with that, where can our audience go and find more information on Velocity Minerals?
The website's always a great place to go. We try to keep the news releases coming thick and fast through the year as well, so that everyone's fully updated. We're getting more and more active on Twitter, LinkedIn, and those kind of social media areas as well. And we'll be at Beaver Creek. Great place to catch up.
Absolutely. And that website is velocityminerals.com. Keith,
that's correct.
Thank you Thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. Good luck, stay safe, and I look forward to our next update.
Super. Thanks very much. Cheers.
Thank you. Again, my name is Robert Kraft, and I'm your host on SNN Network, and we're a proud media sponsor for the upcoming Precious Metals Summit Beaver Creek, a hybrid event this year happening September 8th through the 11th. Velocity Minerals will be there participating. Thank you all for watching.